So a good friend of mine by the name of NBA Nerd decided to drop a hot takes video about a day ago, and I decided since he stole a video from me, I'm gonna do the same as well. Nah, but when you're done with my video, I do recommend you check out his hot takes video. It's kind of like a 2-for-1. Get it? Cause 2 for... Okay, I'm gonna just start the video. I asked you guys, drop your NBA hot takes that would have you ending up like this, and you guys did not disappoint. There's about 30 comments on this post, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to every single hot take, but I'm gonna try to get to a lot of them. First one is from the real Allen Iverson, but he said, Kawhi is better under pressure than Kobe, not my take. I believe he's reiterating the fact that I think Max Kellerman said this take. I could be wrong though. Now, the thing is, how are we defining clutch? Because for example, when it comes to game winners, I would say Kobe Bryant is better because he is second all-time in game winners, tied with Joe Johnson with 8. And I'm not gonna lie, when I do think about Kawhi being clutch, I think about the 2014 and the 2019 NBA Finals or NBA playoffs as a whole. The moment where Kawhi Leonard had basically shut down LeBron, and the other moment where he helped Toronto win a championship. While those are still some great moments, when I think of Kobe Bryant, I can think of a lot more clutch moments. I do think this is pretty subjective, and maybe this is just the Kobe Bryant fan in me, but I'm still gonna say Kobe is more of a clutch player than Kawhi. Not to say that he's not still a pretty clutch player, because I'd be lying to you if I said that. Next up, we got Dylan saying the Phoenix Suns will be a play-in team this season. I don't need to tell you why I 100% disagree with what he's saying. I mean, not only did I make an entire video about it, but I think it's just common sense. Don't get me wrong, the West is pretty stacked, but I still believe that Phoenix is better than most of the teams in the West, and at worst, I see them being a 3 or 4 seed. But at best, I could definitely see this team being the 1st or 2nd seed in the West. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still pretty terrified of Denver, and I do think Denver will be the best team in the West, but that's why I said I think Phoenix could be 2nd, or worst case scenario 3rd or 4th. But I don't even see them going below a 5 seed. Maybe during the season they might, because they're adjusting to a new team. Also, injuries could happen. But nah, I don't see a world where the Phoenix Suns make the playoffs by being a play-in team. That is egregious to me. Next, we got King of Monster 2K saying Scottie Pippen would have been the same player without MJ. If you mean someone that was the second option to a superstar player and was somebody that quit on his own team when it was his moment, then yeah, I'd say so. I do believe that as far as play style, Scottie still would have been a great defensive player. He would have been a great second option, but I don't see him being like this #1 option on a championship winning team the way Michael Jordan was. While I do think Scottie would have the same production he did as a player, I just don't think most people would talk about it because let's hypothetically say he's not in Chicago. Because for most casuals, there would be really no reason to talk about Scottie Pippen. I will say this guy tried to justify it by saying, keep in mind that Jordan was retired in 93 to 94 while Pippen got the Bulls out of the first round, then taking the Knicks to 7 games. Which then he reminded us that Jordan could not win without Pippen, which that is a true fact. The way I look at it, and this is why I'm so frustrated that Scottie Pippen has been trying to take shots at Jordan for years now, I do think MJ and Scottie both needed each other, and I feel like both have said that at one point or another. So while I don't want to turn this into a, oh, Jordan needed Scottie or Jordan didn't need Scottie debate, I will say that I see Scottie still putting up the same production, but no, I don't think he'd be as popular because he wouldn't be Jordan's side piece. Or sidekick. God damn it. This guy says the New York Knicks will win the... No. Next one. The Awesome Ninja Brian says Paul George is better than Kawhi Leonard. Now, I don't know if he's talking about now or all time, but if we're talking all time, then just no. I think Kawhi has way more accolades, and overall, I still believe he's a better player even without those accolades. But if we're talking about current day, I'm still gonna say no, just because Kawhi Leonard has always been the better player, and I don't think that's really changed. I will say I do think Paul George has had more impact on the Clippers with his time being there, but it's only because Kawhi Leonard has been injured for 20 damn years. If Kawhi Leonard got his iOS update, then maybe it wouldn't be as close as some people might think, but I'm still gonna give the edge to Kawhi. Next up, we got my best friend Xavier saying Prime Monte Ellis is better than Michael Jordan. Oh, hold the fuck on. What is wrong with you?
Monte Ellis is better than Michael Jordan.
Stop it.
Monte Ellis.
There is
better than Michael Jordan.
Please justify this for me.
Because he's just better. Longer Johnson.
Also, speaking of Xavier, we are on a podcast together. The Starting 5 podcast, actually. It is me and a bunch of NBA YouTubers. We dropped an episode, I think 2 days ago. I'm not gonna lie, it might be one of my favorite episodes that we've ever recorded. It's a funny ass podcast. We talk about basketball. I think you guys would genuinely enjoy it. Next, we got Penny Hardaway should make the Hall of Fame even though injuries slowed his career. Now listen, as a Penny Hardaway fan, I wish I could say this is true. Unfortunately, I just don't think he has the accolades. He's a 4-time NBA All-Star and a 3-time All-NBA player. Again, as much as I love Penny Hardaway as a player, I just don't think those are good enough accolades, and the stats, they're not really that good compared to other players that are in the Hall of Fame. Mark Lawrence says the Dream Team is overrated today due to the lack of high-level global competition. So I see where he's coming from, because yes, global competition has definitely gone up. I mean, Team Canada, for example, they look fucking amazing in the FIBA World Cup that's going on right now, but I think we need to understand why the Dream Team was so damn important. If you guys know the history of Team USA, you would know that back in the day, before the Dream Team was a thing, they weren't really that good. Their teams would consist of college talent, which is why they never really had one, while other countries had pros. And because the USA wanted to have a really good team to compete, they decided to bring the best NBA superstars that they could. So at the time, yeah, they were easily the best team around. And I get it, some people are like, oh, but what if the talent wasn't known overseas? Now, why do you think it's taken about 30 years for teams overseas to finally start getting to the level of the NBA? And I get it, there have been examples in, I'd say, the last 10 years where this has started to happen, but I think to most people, it's been very prominent that as of recently, Team USA might not be the best team by a big landslide. It's been 30 years, and I genuinely believe 30 years ago when they saw the Dream Team play, whether it was young kids or coaches or whatever, they were probably inspired by this team, and this has led to the resurgence in overseas talent. Now, I'm not going to say the Dream Team is 100% responsible for this, but I definitely think they play a factor, and I think a lot of people overseas could agree. So yes, I 100% disagree with the idea that the Dream Team was overrated. I don't see any situation where that could have happened. I mean, if you've been around this channel for the past couple years, you would know my second video into NBA YouTube was literally about the Dream Team. The video is ass, and I don't recommend you watch it because I could definitely do better. In fact, I might, but that team was fucking incredible, and there's never going to be anything like it again. It doesn't matter if it's in the USA or Greece, it will never happen again. Next up, we got Sam the Goat saying the Knicks will be the 1 or 2 seed. No. The next one is also from Sam the Great 123. He said Tracy McGrady is bigger Kobe Bryant. I'm not gonna lie, I see the vision, I get what he's saying, but the problem is that T-Mac had loads of injuries to his career, so that really never came to fruition. But I do believe if T-Mac did not get injured, that's not a crazy claim to make. I'm also on the same fruition that if he won just as many rings as Kobe, I think a lot of people would argue that T-Mac was better. Now, of course, I don't want to play the hypothetical game, but it is definitely something to think about. Now, me personally, I'm gonna have to consider injuries, and if this is in a world where there's no injuries or they're limited compared to what T-Mac had to deal with, then yeah, I think that's 100% true. And since we're on the topic of Kobe Bryant, Go to Mills said Kobe is not top 10. First of all, if you guys don't know who Go to Mills is, he's a Madden YouTuber with like over 20,000 subscribers. Go check him out if you're into Madden. But second of all, I fucking hate when people say this. I have found that in the past like 10 to 15 years, people have really started to not appreciate Kobe Bryant for the player he's been. A lot of people like to take certain analytics and just look at them at a different perspective, or twist, I guess, the narrative about him. I know some people were trying to push a narrative like, oh, we started overrating him when he died, kind of like how people do with rappers, which I 100% disagree with, because I've always thought he was a top 3 player, which maybe top 3 is kind of crazy, because I know some people are like, oh, he's not even top 5. The most common thing I've seen is for people to either A, have him not even in the top 10, or have him at like number 6. Like I said, in my opinion, I believe he's top 3. My top 3 goes Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kobe Bryant. I know not everybody is going to agree with that, and maybe I'll make a full video why I think Kobe Bryant has been underrated these past couple of years. I actually did it last offseason, believe it or not, but I think I've gotten better as a content creator, and I have a little bit more insight on Kobe than I did last year. And who knows, maybe I'll even fucking recruit some Kobe fans. I don't know at this point. And the final hot take we're gonna look at is the Yankee Samurai 23 says the WNBA is better than the NBA is. There, I said it. Murder me, I dare you. So the WNBA, fuck.